Return to your seats. Keep your seatbelts fastened. You may experience some turbulence coming up. Don't be alarmed. That's just your pilot diving to equalize cabin pressure before you freeze to death. Oh, and from all of us here at Hydra, thanks for flying the friendly skies.
All right, hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. This is Rob here at Smirking Gun Reviews, back to do more old S.H.I.E.L.D. new reviews, and this week we're on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Season 3, Episode 8. It's called Many Heads, One Tail. There's a lot of big moments here, a lot of exposition, a lot of interesting Hydra, a lot of interesting Ward. We got a great Fitz and Simmons moment. We got great moments between Powers Booth. There's just a lot of really great stuff that happens in this episode. Now, and it probably would end up in some people's top lists of the year because of that one between Fitz and Simmons just alone. But again, this is the show where we forget that S.H.I.E.L.D's over. We go take a look back because I'm around. And so if you look in the archives, we've got Season 1 and Season 2. Also be looking out in November, back on D's reviews where we were doing Fans of S.H.I.E.L.D. We're going to be back doing Fans of S.H.I.E.L.D. where we'll be reviewing, or we'll be looking at each season individually, starting with Season 1 in November. And there will also be Agent Carter reviews coming on this channel soon. And we'll be mixing those in on D's reviews as well. We'll be doing Fans of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. / Agent Carter. Lots of stuff happening. Let's jump into this episode. So, yeah, Ward, right now we find out through Gideon Malick, played by the late great Powers Booth, that they're looking for Von Strucker's vault and Hydra's greatest power. There's a lot of things that we learn about Hydra here that kind of changes a lot of like how you look at some of the old movies in the MCU and how, you know, Marvel let Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. really play with the mythology of Hydra and their role in things. And it kind of changes things like how you look at like the Winter Soldier and stuff like that when you see the bigger picture of everything is starting to finally arrive. Like this, in this episode, it's really revealed what Hydra's real point is. And whether or not, you know, that's, you know, follows the comics, it doesn't. But it's not like it's, you know, it has to be follow everything, right? Well, Malick, he's a lot like Ward. Ward is a very unforgiving kind of person. He doesn't want anybody else to, you know, be in his way. And Gideon Malick is no different. And I love their little tete-a-tetes. They sit there, they talk with respect to each other. There's a little playful banter. But in the end, both of them would rather kill each other than see the other one succeed over the other. And Malick is immediately just sends a bunch of guys in to kill Ward. Now, did he really think he was going to kill him? I don't know if he really thought that those guys were tough enough to kill Ward. He hoped that they would. But we get this like really great attack right after Malick tells Ward, you know, you're not at the top of you don't live on the top of the food chain. And by that, he means like, because Malick, he was on the World Council. He was one of the voices that Samuel L. Jackson's Fury was talking to. So this guy's high up, or at least was before everything came down in the Winter Soldier. But he's still running a lot of stuff. So it's like he was one of those people that escaped the net, you know, and has been out there doing his own thing. But we get this really great fight scene that just shows how deadly Ward is and how great Brett Dalton is. And I know there's stuntmen and stuff involved in this, but I mean, the way that he plays the scenes that you can tell it's him, like where he bashes somebody with a pool cue and just flings it like nothing. I love the way Brett Dalton has always played Ward. He is James Bond if James Bond went fucking crazy and decided to kill everybody that he used to work for because they reject him for being a psychopath. Like that's how it's just, he's so freaking delusional. But the fight is really great. He takes these guys apart. And we start to see in the next scene with Fitz and Simmons here, where they start talking about symbolic anthropology. And this is where they talked about the symbol that was on Will's jacket and how they felt like it was, he started to talk about it to Hunter and Bobby last episode about whether or not he really is who he says he is and whether NASA was really involved in this mission to go to Maeveth. And so they start to track the symbols that play a big part at the end of this episode about the Ram's Head logo and its origins. Meanwhile, Mac finally just straight up questions Coulson. And I like this scene a lot because it shows like, you know, you could see the future for Mac in the scene, knowing where he ends up. Questioning Coulson almost as if he's, you know, the director himself already. About, you know, you're sleeping together. Aren't you compromised? And it's also kind of a learning lesson for Mac too. Like what Coulson shows on the outside isn't always what the cards he's holding. And we've seen this many, many times where Coulson appears to be doing one thing and then, you know, he shows you one thing. It's great misdirection. He's great at playing. They write him great at that, but they also, the way Clark looks and acts in these, where he really makes you believe that there's nothing going on. Or he can also make you wonder, like, maddeningly, what are you doing? Because he doesn't give you anything to make you think otherwise until he decides to let you in on his play. Because that's spies, right? He doesn't even know sometimes he has to play things close to the vest because, honestly, the more people that know something, the more it could go wrong. And so when he brings up, you know, yeah, we're sleeping together, and guess what? You know, what we're really doing here is I'm going to be talking to Rosalind. I'm going to go in and look her face to face and see if she's for real. Meanwhile, you guys are going to go around the back and check out the ATCU and find out what's really going on there. And he just kind of drops the mic on Mac. And it's great. It's another one of those, yeah, I know. I've been having this planned all this time, and this is what he's saying to them right now. Is that he's been planning this the whole time. Of course. And when he tells Mac, does that answer your concerns? And Mac realizes, no, that just raises all new ones. Because, you know, how good Coulson is at spy. All these people have a lot to learn. And they're always questioning him at every turn. That's, you know, one of the things that always bothers me when I watch it is like, I know that Coulson's not some dupe. You'd think that they would know it too. And I mean, yes, near the end, you know, they're all like, they kind of figure out like it's like they struggle through the whole thing. And it is something that kind of bothers me. It's like they trust him, they don't trust him. They, you know, and maybe that's a good spy, but your team who claims that, you know, Coulson's the Rock, they always seem to always second guess him. And then he always has to keep proving his, you know, why they're wrong to be questioning him. Anyway, I don't want to talk about that any longer. I feel like I'm spinning my wheels. But Ward tries to torture these guys about where the vault's location is. Again, showing his ruthlessness here, where he threatens torture and then kills them all. Even for the little information that they got, which was a place in Germany that they wanted to, that he needs to get to. Even though he knew all the information already, he just needed the specific one narrowed down. And even though he's going to kill them, it's even more torturous him saying, you know, you guys would have worked well on my team. You guys didn't talk. And then he kills him anyway. It kind of felt like that scene in The Dark Knight where he was like, we're doing tryouts, except remove the tryout part and just put all torture in and just, it's just crazy. So they hack the ATCU. And Mac is great here as the FBI customer service, basically. Hi, how can I help you? We just you know, like, oh, we've noticed some traffic leading back to you. He was a weird choice to do it, but I'm glad they did because he just convincingly sounds like one of those operators on the phone. Meanwhile, Bobby and Hunter go in undercover like as Hunter's the hacker who's getting like Cyrano de Bergerac by Daisy, who's giving him all the information that she tells him to say, and he just spits it out, so that they can get access to all of the ATCU stuff and find out what's really going on. But Fitz and Simmons then find out that Will was sacrificed. He was sent there as a sacrifice, making Will look possibly complicit. Like I said, there was going to be more about Will than we first knew. Is he in on it? Is he not in on it? It would seem to me that if you were going to be sent there, they probably wouldn't tell him everything, but he had to be a part of it in the first place. Was he just an astronaut who got thrown in there? I can't quite remember. I feel like he knew, but he got screwed over and was trapped, and then a beautiful girl suddenly shows up after a long time, and hey, why not play the part, right? So then we get to one of my favorite scenes in the whole episode, that a little bit before, right before the review, which is Ward on the plane, flirting with the stewardess, her with the little bottles, setting up a date later, him being charming and very James Bond like, and then turning the tables on her and just being like whispering to her what his true intentions are, and she just sits down, buckles up as Ward tells everybody in the plane over the intercom, light them up because you're going down, basically. As Dennis Leary would say. And just blasts out the side of the plane, and I love it. It's just Ward, as much as Ward deserves everything he's about to get. When Brett Dalton, it's a testament to Brett Dalton that this character has so many great moments. When you want to see him die, but at the same time, when he does stuff like this, it's just so deliciously evil, and how I don't know how well played it all is. Okay. Then we get to this huge moment, this huge moment of the episode. There's lots of things we could talk about, but we need to get to this huge moment, which is the kiss. Gemma is very frustrated at Fitz's doing the right thing, not showing that he's upset, like just being so accommodating after finding out all the info went on between Gemma and Will on Maeveth, and him finally letting her know, I am pissed off. I have been looking into him. I have been trying to get stuff on this guy, but he's clean. He's like perfect. Of course you fell for this guy. He took care of you. He gave you hope at the end of the universe on some other planet. How can I hate this guy that protected this person that I love? And even when she tells him, like, do you love him? And she's like, yes, I think I do. I'm tortured by these feelings. And then her telling him, you jumped through a hole in the universe for me. And I mean, I don't think I'll be able to ever do that for a lady. We all hope that we could do something equivalent to that to prove to someone we love that we love them. I don't think I'll ever, it's highly unlikely that any of us will ever get to have somebody say something that powerful to us. But that's when, boom, we get the kiss. Also talk about the curse. And while the kiss is great and it's a long time coming, it's the beginning. I mean, they say it. Like, this is the cosmos, right? He says, the bloody cosmos wants to keep us apart. And believe you me, this is only season 3. We've been saying this the entire series. We have to say this through the entire series. Is Fitz wrong? No, he's not wrong. But it's not the cosmos. It's the fucking writers, damn it. Because the drama plays. If you put them together, right, then the only other thing to do is to tear them apart. That just blows. You can make things work. Whatever. Anyway, it's a long story. It's a long struggle. But in the end, the results work. We just never get to see them happy for really long periods of time. And then Andrew and Malick. There's two meetings with Andrew here. One with Malick right now, and then there's one with Ward at the very end in the stinger. And Malick, he tries to come at it like, look, I can help you, but I want info on S.H.I.E.L.D. It's very different from what Ward's tactic is. Malick comes at it like, hey, they did you dirty, who do you trust now? Look, you are in my facility. I can help you. I can cure you. But, I need your help with S.H.I.E.L.D. He wants him to betray him for a cure, right? But surprise, surprise, the ATCU isn't helping Inhumans, at least not to Rosalind's, knowledge, though, which we find out in a minute. They're trying to make Inhumans. And this is where Coulson has this great standoff then with Rosalind, where he puts her in one of these rooms, one of their containment rooms, and says, you're not leaving here until I know you're not Hydra. No more games. And, they do the whole didn't mean to fall for you trope, but it gets all starting to come crashing down, right? It's all coming down. And we find out from her, as much as, and it's a testament to how she played it, it's a testament to the writers and how they did it, is that she really didn't know. She was just a pawn of Gideon Malick's. She was the face. They needed a legitimate face so that they could operate easier in the dark. So she didn't know about any of this. And I love that. I mean, she really feels betrayed. She really doesn't understand. She has been straightforward. But with the way things are with Coulson and Hydra and everything that's been going on, Rosalind's kind of caught in the middle of this. And it's not really her fault. And she's the one that's getting all the damage from all this. Meanwhile, May apologizes to Lincoln. And I know Lincoln's not everybody's favorite character. I don't know if that's because everybody's got a crush on Daisy and they don't like seeing anybody with Daisy. Because Chloe Bennett is très magnifique, yes. But this is where, she apologizes about what Andrew's been doing. That killing all his friends. I mean, Lincoln's been on the run since forever, practically. Ever since he tried to help Daisy and got caught up in all the mess with real S.H.I.E.L.D. and all that stuff. He hasn't really had much to do, and he's kind of been a character that's just been sidelined, just always hiding away. We finally bring him in to the show fully here, I think. I feel like this is where he really becomes a part of the last bit of season 3. Whether you like it or not, that's just how it is. But the jig's up. Everything's falling down. Everybody's got to start running. The Hunter's cover's blown. And we got introduced to this actor in a scene earlier. But I want to bring up Mark Dacascos, who plays Malick's little inhuman bodyguard, who's basically a telekinetic of really powerful. Mark Dacascos is a pretty great action fighter. He's in a lot of direct-to-DVD stuff, that kind of thing. But there was a little movie called Brotherhood of the Wolf. This guy's actually really good martial artist. And he's also kind of known in, I think, a lot of things as not talking very much. He's just kind of a cool face, Very, very Bruce Lee-esque looking guy, in my opinion. And if you haven't seen Brotherhood of the Wolf, check it out. It's got Monica Bellucci. And it's really different. It's about the French countryside being terrorized by a monster, and this man who shows up with his bodyguard, played by Mark Dacascos, to find out and investigate and stop it. It's really, really good. Highly recommend that movie. But I like seeing him here as this guy who can be physical, but then they give him the powers on top of it. It's pretty awesome. The key thing, though, with the Rosalind Coulson stuff was him bringing up Tahiti and how would she know that unless you were tied with Hydra. And this is where she tells him that Malick was the guy. Malick's the one who gave her the information on Tahiti. So now Coulson has to feel a little stupid because she really was on the up and up with him. And he, because of how things are, he never really opened up with her. But here at the end of this episode, Ward literally drops in on Malick in another cool scene where it just, boom, comes crashing through the ceiling in almost a superhero pose. And this is where Malick lays it all out. That Hydra has been dealing with these monoliths, that there was an inhuman born on Earth that was so powerful he was going to rule everything, but he was banished to Maeveth through the monoliths, and the whole creation of Hydra was to bring this person back. So that's a lot, because they tried to talk about the Red Skull and that, and it's like, oh, Red Skull was just doing his own thing. He had his other elements. It's part of Hydra. These guys that they all kind of have their own agendas, but at the end of it, the heart and the hardcore people that were involved at this from the beginning, the ones who've been operating behind the scenes and letting things happen, letting people like the Red Skull operate, their real goal was to get this guy back from Maeveth. Convenient, though, I guess. But this is at the same time that Fitz and Simmons lay out the pattern of all the symbols that they've dug up that lead from a ram's horn all the way to Hydra. And that they've been operating forever. And it's gone by, this creature's gone by many names, and now they want the person who came back from Maeveth, and that's Gemma. So, because she's been there, she would have information. And our stinger is Andrew and Ward, and again showing Ward's just absolute hatred towards our team before it really is to me his rejection by them. You know, them not, I feel like he literally thought he could just walk back in some level of his brain. But he wants to hurt Melinda even more, and now he's got Andrew. And they want, instead of looking for a cure, Ward comes at it from, we want to be able to turn this monster on. Because if May thinks I'm a monster, you literally can become one. And he wants to use Lash to hurt S.H.I.E.L.D. And that's just another, like, you put all that together and it makes one fantastic episode. And it's probably one of the best episodes of Season 3 for sure. So, anyway, we're going to be back next week with Episode 9 called Closure. It's funny that Ward brings up Closure at the end of this episode. We're really building towards an end for this whole conflict that's been started since Ward revealed himself to be a spy, a bad spy, on the side of Hydra. So anyway, if you like this review, please hit the like button, comment, share, subscribe, hit the bell for all notifications. Like I said, we'll be back next week for more. Until then, here's your moment of Zen. Bye.
Each other hope on the edge of nowhere.
Don't do this, Fitz.
You think I didn't look for dirt on him? I did. And there's nothing. I can't hate him. He's great. Why else would you fall for him? He did everything right.
You dove through a hole in the universe for me.